remember I saw this special, and it was about one of the Trump supporters. It was the Life Church, whatever that was, in Virginia. And y'all don't remember that story?
No.
It sounds really familiar. Like, I remember Life Church, but I can't place it.
Okay, this church starts with an L, and the pastor was huge and was very supportive of Donald Trump. His dad was a mega church pastor from like way back then, and then he took over. And Life University is on the campus of where the church is. It's like a cult out there, and I think it's Virginia. And one of the people, I guess, he started sleeping with a young man who was a pool boy actually started sleeping.
Oh,
they do creepy
stuff.
Yeah, they do creepy things. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised because that's where the mess is, in the church. I love the church. I'm from the church. And but the white church has special mess. And over there on the right
especially
side,
the evangelical ones.
they're very
the loudest ones hide the most.
Yeah, so that's so true, and it's I think Liberty University, Jerry Falwell.
That's what it was, Liberty, not Life.
But you said Life though, and it clicked with me. I'm like, oh yeah.
Sorry to Life Church, whoever you are, because it's probably about millions of y'all. Sorry to y'all.
That's so true, Rebecca, about the white evangelical churches, because the church that I grew up in. So after I had left already, it's been years. So the pastor of that church had to step down because he admitted that he was into porn. And I'm like, wait, that's it? Like, I was thinking when you have to step down because of some sort of a sexual scandal within a church, you expect, oh fuck. But no, this was just he looked at porn, and then later on he was restored. But I think like I don't know the story. My sister has the scoop.
Was he caught, or did he just come out randomly and was like, I watch porn? I
don't know. His wife may have caught him, but
Sometimes the battle for people, though, when it can be an addiction, it can be a battle. And it probably was that for him. But I guess when you're preaching, and I would say maybe when you're preaching to other people not to do certain things. So you get all caught up and now you're like, okay, I can't be hypocritical about it. There's that. But so that may be why it didn't align with the church's whatever's. But nowadays, these people are going even harder. That man from Liberty was like, do it. And meanwhile, there's the pictures, like and evidence and everything out there, and the people are still like, "That's my pastor. Your pastor's just lying to y'all, drunk, like misrepresenting how the church is supposed to be, and they are just." I heard that church can't be with politics. That's how I grew up. But over there, they were like, bring the politics right up in here. Let's bring the racism. Now, let's not cover it up with anything. Let's call it what it is. Let's protect white Jesus at all costs. And that's the important. Let's start like only us as the pastors can do crazy sex things and be out there and ostentatious, but all y'all can't do that, but we can as pastors, and you guys should forgive us and give us
they have
money.
So much money. Did you see that guy Ted Haggard, I think was his name, and they had private jets and stuff like that, and then he was all fire and brimstone. If you're a homosexual, you're a sinner, you're going to hell. And then he was caught doing like crystal meth with like 3 male prostitutes, and it's just like
they suffer the most.
How it always is.
They suffer the like they have their demons, and then they'll preach and be dealing with that. I wouldn't say it's every pastor, because I'm still in the church, but I like to say, I'm a different kind of something. But at the same time, I'm like, I still side eye when I go into these new churches, black or white. And I remember going to I would say a white-led church, but it was like so many Africans, like African Americans, literal like Africans, they were in the church. And that man got up there, I'm Haitian, and he got up there and said that our countries like in Africa and Haiti are cursed. He said that. Meanwhile, America is just sitting right here, literally good material for you to talk about that is just messed up. And he says like, you guys are just cursed. And that's why we were sent to go to your countries and restore and bring. And everybody in there was so shifty. Some people walked out. I never returned back to that church. So.
God, the things that they come up with is so psychotic sometimes. I'm reminded, this conversation is reminding me of an interview with Kenneth Copeland. So I posted a link to the interview in the private chat where he was confronted by a reporter about his prosperity preaching. And his response is so unhinged. I don't know if you all remember this, but
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
it's amazing.
I'll bring this
Such
up.
a good video. Yeah, because I mean, there's really no good explanation for it, right? But you could see like he didn't know what to say, and so the response was just hilarious.
This guy's
in this video, he's being grilled about like a jet or something, isn't it? Like, do you need, or does the glory of God need you to have like this jet? You know?
yeah.
This guy's amazing, by the way.
You said that it's like getting into a tube with a bunch of demons. Why do you think that?
The question.
How are you, sir? We'd just like to ask
He's
you
like,
about
"Oh,
why you
shit."
don't want to fly commercial. Why have you said that you won't fly commercial? You said that it's like getting into a tube with a bunch of demons. Why do you think that?
No, let me just say it.
He said that?
Main reason is because of the need. If I flew commercial, I'd have to stop 65% of what I'm doing. That's really me.
Isn't it true that you want to fly commercial so that you can fly in luxury? How much money did you pay for Tyler Perry's Gulfstream jet, for example?
Well, for example, that's really none of your business. But
isn't it the business of your donors?
Listen, I paid. You kind of caught me off guard here. Okay.
He's so demonic.
Now here, I'd like to give you a chance to catch your breath and have a conversation. We don't want to catch you off guard.
I love Inside Edition. You got to get this now. Hey, you listening to me? My wife thinks Inside Edition is, oh yeah.
He looks crazy.
He is. Yes.
Yeah.
Those like Lord help me.
Let me just ask you a really simple question. A lot of people think it's unbecoming for a preacher to live a life of luxury and to fly around in private jets.
It's her
What's
soft
your
voice for
response
me.
to that?
Very simple. It takes a lot of money to do what we do. We have brought over 100. Let's see. The latest figures just came out. 122 million people to the Lord Jesus Christ. Let me give you another example. Last May, I was
the
scheduled
smiling is so creepy
for Legos
It's the
Night.
eyes for me.
Oh my God, those eyes.
That'll haunt you.
I had a week off, and I was scheduled.
He looks like a haunted doll.
And I prayed about it, and I thought, I'm not missing that dedication in Jerusalem.
Oh my God.
Without the airplane that we had that I bought from Tyler Perry, and I didn't pay anywhere. And Tyler's one of the greatest guys. He made that airplane so cheap for me, I couldn't help but buy it.
Well, my question is, okay, all right, but I want to get to the demons. People are very concerned about that comment.
He went to go buy him.
I love your eyes. And here's what
I love your eyes.
Yeah.
We flew in 21 days, 70 hours, 40,000 miles, touched 5 continents, and
he's filibustering
face to face personally with 125,000 people.
Do you ever use your private jets to go visit your vacation homes, for example?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Again, getting back to the comment, you said that you don't like to fly commercial because you don't want to get into a tube with a bunch of demons. Do you really believe that human beings?
It's a great quote.
No, I do not. And don't you ever say I did.
Oh,
there you go. There you go.
Oh my God.
We wrestle not.
There you go.
With flesh and blood, but
what
principalities and powers.
Can you explain what you meant by that term then? Just explain, because
I can't do 11 minutes. I mean, this is 10 minutes long.
That's
but
11 minutes of an interview of him doing this.
Yeah, but that was the moment.
Better,
I mean,
by the way.
Look at this was the moment. Look, I don't believe in Satan, but I think this is the best argument that he exists.
Absolutely.
That is scary. No, that is
completely terrifying.
Those are those people who are like they get so wrapped up in themselves. They never were in it for the people or to get people's lives to go to Christ or to follow a certain way of living. It was really just to it's a business. Church is a business, whether people want to admit it or not. But also, if you're going to do something and you're going to say you would do it with a purpose, These are the people that don't. And we see how they, it's culty, and the work that they're doing isn't real work. It's just like they get up there, they say a couple of things, and they leave, and they go enjoy things like Tyler Perry's jets, and buying things and saying it was so cheap. It was made so cheap to him.
So cheap,
that
I
he
had
was
no choice.
Then he gets aggressive when people are saying, "Well, is it true that you just didn't want to fly just regular? You wanted to fly luxury?" He
didn't want to fly with a bunch of demons.
Crazy
he didn't want to fly with the pores. The demons.
Right, regular people, them people that be giving him the money. Yeah, he didn't want to sit next to them.
That's it, right?
Yeah,
it's
amazing.
Peasants,
demon daddies.
Yeah.
That it's a very cursed video. All these like prosperity preachers, there's something about them that is it gives me demonic energy. Like even Joel Osteen, like the way he talks, he'll smile as he's talking, and it's just there's something about it that there's a vibe to it. Like I won't make any accusations against him, but all the accusations should be lobbed against him just based on the way that he talks. And this is the dude who didn't he like lock out people during a Texas hurricane from his church?
So
I covered that. I remember that. Yeah.
It was a while back. He and I covered it too. Me and Ben, and there was that. And mind you, me and Ben are in the church. So when we see stuff like that, we gonna check people, because again, you're supposed to open your doors to the people who are in need. And those people were outside, they were unhoused, they were unsheltered, and the church is supposed to be a shelter, especially at the church. I know small churches who were sheltering people, churches that ain't got enough money to make sure that the roof is together. They were sheltering people. But this mega church said, hell no, close the doors, and did all of that. Also, I think somebody who received, it was Joel Osteen, received a grand PPP loan at the church. Right. And it's those things to me. It's like, well, at least you could have took the PPP loan and did something instead of like adding on to the church and saying it's for the people. Like, what else did you do? Like when you have all of that money, I feel like there's more things that you can do within your community than just doing a food drive. Like when you have the ability to do those, like that's what I think. But they take breaks after one Sunday. They're like, ooh, wow, just what a Sunday preach. And then they take these breaks, and then people still come. And I think that's where it gets crazy, because I don't care who you serve, what you're doing, how you're doing it. If whatever it is, the people are, whatever you believe, it's supposed to lift you up. It's supposed to be helpful. You're supposed to have a relationship with at least the leaders in the church, or whatever the case may be. When it's really big, I know it can't happen like that. But when you see that they're abusing people, taking advantage of people, I mean, it's okay to question it. You're not going to hell for that. It's okay to question where the funds are being allocated, what y'all doing, why people are still struggling, but you're asking them for the tithes, right? They're struggling. They can't pay their light bills, but they're still contributing to the church because you tell them if they tithe, something great will happen for them. And then when they're struggling and they come for benevolence, they have to go through 6 jobs. How long have you been in the church? Have you been coming every Sunday? All of these things. Yet it's easy for you to snatch up their money. So when I go looking for a church, I look for community in that way, whether I come every Sunday or not, whether I was at the club the night before, strolling in, for Sunday services, it doesn't matter. I look for community, and that's, if I don't see that there, I'm out. And yeah.
Okay. So speaking of the money that could be better spent, I just looked it up. He bought the plane for $65 million and then spent an additional $50 million to customize.
No, that was steal. What you talking about, Lance? That's
that's true. He had no choice. He's getting robbed.
No choice. I had to buy it.
I had to buy it. 65 mil. That is like pennies. That was a deal. That meanwhile, imagine what 65 million can do. How much that can do.
If I had just 1 million,
probably
I mean,
yeah, 1 million works for me.
Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy. It's funny. Rebecca brought that up about because the church that I was raised in, they pressured everyone to give 10% of their income in tithes, and 10%? Even 10%. Yeah. And a lot of my family, my parents and my siblings did it. And then when one of my siblings, my sister, she was a single mom, she actually needed support from the church, like monetary support. And she asked one time after being a member for years, they rejected her. They rejected her, and they turned her to like local food banks and stuff like. And she's like, why the fuck am I contributing? I mean, the in theory, it's like, okay, it's kind of like an investment, right? You give 10%, God will like pay you another riches. But like the church gets all this money. Yeah, exactly. All this money to help people. And then they're not helping their own members. It's just, it's
that's why I say it's
wild.
sketchy. I'm grateful to have been involved in churches where even volunteering, we will go to people's homes and drop off things for them and ask them what they need, what's their light bills looking like. Since I grew up in the church, in the Haitian church, it's super different than what I go to now. But I see the difference when I go somewhere and I see people are struggling and you can't get assistance, you can't get any help, what that looks like, how the church is growing, the pastor is rolling in and every Louis Vuitton, this, that, and the other. Meanwhile, you ain't got no shoes on. Like those kind of things, I question that and I'll check it at the front door. I'll even write something, put it instead of money, I'll put that in the basket, okay, for them to go ahead and read. And I won't show up again, but I let that be known. But when I do go to places, and there are always going to be things I don't like, but when I do see that churches are taking care of the people, because I think that's essentially what they say. The church is a hospital. So, I mean, listen, if y'all gonna really front and be out here like, oh, I'm a hospital, that's how you're gonna carry yourself. Then when the sick come, when people are in need, I've seen the poorest churches do what they can to take care of people. And I've also, like you said, Mike, I've seen the churches who have so much money have to go and see, how long have you been at this church? How long do you tithe? What is your history? And those things. And I think that's not godly.
Mm-hmm.
On that point, though, that's probably why those churches have money and the poor ones don't, because the poor ones are actually sharing with the community. Yeah, they actually help the community.
That's true.
Yeah, that's facts.